Wednesday morning, February 25, 2009. It was a typical day at Istanbul, Ataturk Airport. Turkish Airlines Boeing 737-800 aircraft, flight number TK1951, was making its final preparations for departure to Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. This aircraft, with registration number TCJGE, was manufactured in 2003 and had been safely serving in the Turkish Airlines fleet. There were a total of 134 people on board, 127 passengers, and 7 crew members. The passengers included people of various nationalities: Turks, Dutch, 4 American citizens, and others. Some were on business trips, some were on vacation, and some were visiting family. 3 experienced pilots were on duty in the cockpit. Captain Pilot Hasan Tahsin Arazan, 44 years old, 7,500 flight hours. First Officer Olgay Ozgur, 34 years old, over 3,000 flight hours. Safety Pilot/Instructor Murat Sezer, 54 years old, over 15,000 flight hours. These 3 experienced pilots could never have anticipated what would unfold that day. Section 2. An ordinary flight. The beginning of technical issues. The flight departed from Istanbul at 8:22 local time without any issues. Weather conditions were favorable, and the Boeing 737-800 appeared to be functioning perfectly. The flight was expected to last approximately 3.5 hours. However, there was a serious technical issue on board that was not immediately apparent. The left radio altimeter was malfunctioning and providing incorrect altitude information. According to Turkish Airlines records, 235 radio altimeter malfunctions were reported on 52 Boeing 737-800 aircraft between January 2008 and February 2009. 16 of these occurred on the aircraft involved in the accident. The radio altimeter is a critical device that measures the aircraft's actual altitude above ground level. It is particularly important during landing. When this device malfunctions, the aircraft's automatic systems receive incorrect information and may make dangerous decisions. The pilots were unaware of this malfunction. Everything appeared normal throughout the flight. Section 3. Approach to Amsterdam. Silent danger. 9:24 UTC. Local time 10:24. The aircraft approached Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. They received instructions from air traffic control to land on runway 18R, Holderbaan runway. This was the airport's newest and longest runway. The pilots initiated the routine landing procedures, the autopilot systems were active, and the approach appeared normal. Passengers had fastened their seatbelts, and the cabin crew had completed their landing preparations. Amsterdam Air Traffic Control, Turkish 1951, landing clearance granted for approach to runway 18R, wind 240 degrees at 8 knots. Pilots, Turkish 1951, landing clearance for runway 18R acknowledged. Everything appeared normal. No one was aware of the impending disaster. Section 4, Critical Moments, Systems Malfunctioning. 1,950 feet altitude, 9:25 UTC. Point at approximately 1,950 feet, 595 meters, altitude, something terrible happened. The malfunctioning left radio altimeter indicated that the aircraft was at ground level. Due to this incorrect reading, the auto-throttle system reduced engine power, as if the aircraft were about to land. Suddenly, power decreased in both engines. The aircraft began to lose speed rapidly. While the normal landing speed is around 140–150 knots, the aircraft's speed dropped to dangerous levels. Cockpit voice recordings show that the crew received several warning signals. Too low! Gear! This warning indicated that the aircraft was flying too low despite the landing gear being deployed. The pilots were trying to understand the situation, but it was already too late. Section 5. Final seconds. Despair. 9:25 and 44 seconds UTC. Final 16 seconds. Captain Arison realized the severity of the situation. Speed! Speed! Speed is dropping. Second pilot, Oscar, what's happening? Where's the engine power? Instructor pilot Seizo, pull up, pull up. The aircraft had now descended to a critical level, and its speed was only around 80-90 knots. At this speed, a Boeing 737-800 cannot remain airborne. In the final seconds, the pilots attempted to fully open the engine power, but it was already too late. The aircraft was plummeting toward the ground. Out of control. 9:25 and 59 seconds UTC. Impact. Section 6. Moment of impact. Plane split into 3 pieces. Boeing 737-800 crashed into a field near the A9 highway, approximately 1.5 kilometers before runway 18R. The plane broke into 3 pieces upon impact, and the wreckage did not catch fire. Impact details. Cockpit section completely crushed. All 3 pilots died instantly. Middle section suffered relatively less damage. Most passengers in this section survived. Tail section suffered the least damage. Most passengers in this section escaped with injuries. Fortunately, the aircraft did not catch fire. This prevented further loss of life. Section 7. Initial response, chaos and rescue. 9:26 UTC, first minutes after the crash. Schiphol Airport's emergency response teams arrived at the scene within 3 minutes. One of the Netherlands' fastest emergency response operations began. Scenario at the scene. The aircraft was split into 3 pieces. The cockpit was completely crushed. Passengers were trying to exit the aircraft in a state of panic. Some passengers were seriously injured. First response teams. 15 ambulance, 6 fire trucks, 8 police vehicles, 3 helicopter ambulances. Survivors. 126 people survived. 86 people were injured. 50 seriously. 9 people lost their lives. Some survivors said that one of the pilots survived the crash, but this could not be confirmed. Section 8. Transport to hospitals. The fight for life. The 86 injured were transported to 11 different hospitals in Amsterdam. VU Medical Center, 31 patients. Academic Medical Center, 23 patients. Onze Live Ruogosthuis, 18 patients. Other hospitals, 14 patients. Hospital staff fought an unforgettable battle that day. Among the most seriously injured were spinal cord injuries, broken bones, internal organ injuries, traumatic brain injury. Fortunately, most of the seriously injured survived. Section 9. The investigation begins. Dutch Safety Board. The Dutch Aircraft Accident Investigation Board, OVVV, immediately launched a detailed investigation, an 18-month comprehensive review process. Examined. Cockpit Voice Recorder, CVR. Flight Data Recorder, FD. Aircraft wreckage. Engine analysis. Air traffic control records. Pilot's medical condition. Weather conditions. Airport systems. Key findings. The left radio altimeter was malfunctioning. The automatic throttle system malfunctioned. The pilots reacted too late. Human factors also played a role. Chapter 10. Technical analysis. Causes revealed. Radio altimeter malfunction. The left radio altimeter was displaying an incorrect reading of -8 feet, approximately 2.5 meters. This caused the system to mistakenly believe the aircraft was at ground level, when it was actually at an altitude of 1,950 feet. Automatic throttle system, auto throttle, malfunction. Due to the incorrect altitude information, the system mistakenly believed the aircraft was preparing to land and reduced engine power. Pilot response. The pilots noticed the situation 16 seconds too late. This was not enough time to remedy the situation. Section 11. Human stories, losses, and miracles. Those who lost their lives. Pilots. Captain Hasan Tahsin Arisvan. Co-pilot Olgay Ozgur, 34, Istanbul. Instructor pilot Murat Caesar, 54, Istanbul. Passengers. Pierre Lanier, 61, France. Sergio Bolaños, 59, United States. Ken OS, 17, Turkey. Lalahan Ozen, 63. Margot Schetz, 58, Netherlands. Alexander Sisov, 34, Russia. Miraculous survivals. 6-year-old Nevra Yilmaz survived with minor injuries. 73-year-old Mehmet Dede, hospitalized with a hip fracture, recovered after 3 months. Pregnant Zahra Hanim, both she and her baby survived in good health. Section 12. Media and Public Opinion on the World Agenda. The accident caused a huge stir in the world media. Turkish media. Turkish plane crashes in Amsterdam. Why pilots fought heroically. Miraculous rescue. International media. CNN. Turkish plane crashes in Amsterdam. BBC. 9 dead in Dutch plane crash. Al Jazeera. Turkish Airlines plane crashes short of runway. Social media. The hashtag TeethY1951 trended on Twitter. Families tried to find out about their loved one's condition on social media. Section 13. Legal process. Search for responsibility. Dutch courts. Lawsuits were filed against Boeing. It was alleged that the radio altimeter malfunction was known in advance and no precautions were taken. Turkish Airlines. The training of pilots and emergency procedures were questioned. Boeing Company. The reliability of radio altimeter systems in 737-800 series aircraft was debated. Compensation processes. A total of 60 million euros in compensation was paid to families. Section 14. Impact on aviation safety. Changing rules. New safety measures. Radio altimeter control. More frequent checks were made mandatory. A dual control system was developed. Pilot training. Special training for automatic system malfunctions. Similar scenarios were added to simulator training. Aircraft systems. More reliable radio altimeter systems have been developed. Backup system checks have been increased. Mexico. International Civil Aviation Organization. Changes. A radio altimeter failure reporting system has been developed. Pilots' manual control capabilities have been enhanced. Section 15. Commemoration and Remembrance. 15 years later. Schiphol Airport Memorial. A small memorial was erected near the crash site. Support for families. The Dutch government launched a long-term psychological support program for families. Turkish Airlines changes. Pilot training programs were updated. Safety protocols were enhanced.
Food coordination was improved. February 25, Commemoration Day. Every year on February 25, those who lost their lives are commemorated. Section 16, technological developments preventing similar accidents. Modern radio altimeter systems. Multi-sensor system. Instant fault detection. Automatic backup. New technologies for pilots. Advanced warning systems, heads-up display, enhanced vision systems, measures taken by aircraft manufacturers. Boeing and Airbus have updated their systems to prevent similar malfunctions. Section 17, psychological impact. The aftermath of trauma. Most survivors received long-term psychological support. The 1951 THY flight accident demonstrated both modern aviation's dependence on technology and the critical importance of the human factor. Key lessons: technology is not reliable. Even the most advanced systems can fail. The human factor is critical. Pilots' manual control skills are vital. Teamwork. Coordination in the cockpit can save lives. Continuous training. Aviation safety is a never-ending process. This tragic event claimed 9 lives but provided valuable lessons for improving aviation safety. The memory of those who lost their lives continues to motivate thousands of aviation professionals who work every day to make flights safer. Known as the Polderbaan incident, this accident is recorded as one of the deadliest in Dutch aviation history and marked the beginning of a new era in aviation safety.